My name is Tessa Griffin, and the topic of my presentation is a look into cybercrimes. The objectives of this presentation is to define cybercrime, identify types of cybercrime, discuss some past cybercriminals, list some laws in the U.S. Against cybercrimes, and discuss protection against cybercrimes. A cybercrime is an offense committed by using electronic devices and the internet, or intrusions of breaches of privacy. Some examples of cybercrime are cyber terrorism, online identity theft, ransomware, money laundering, distribution of child pornography, and cyberbullying, only to name a few. Cyber terrorism is used to create a fear and sometimes incites violence. Often cyber terrorism places people's lives in jeopardy. For example, a hacker alters medical records of patients in a hospital. It could have devastating and deadly consequences. They may change diagnoses, switch medication orders, or order unnecessary surgical procedures. Online identity theft occurs when someone steals another person's personal information. This crime is typically committed by cyber criminals for their own financial gain. It is achieved through phishing schemes to illegally access a person's bank account or credit cards. Ransomware includes, it involves a hacker installing malicious software into an individual or larger groups, such as a hospital or private company or local governments, and basically, it could be universities or schools, but basically they install malicious software into their mainframe, and it prevents the user from being able to access sensitive information until the cyber criminal receives some type of payoff or a ransom, which is where the ransomware name comes from. Money laundering. Money laundering occurs when criminals move money that has been obtained illegally. They move it over the internet to legitimate businesses or legitimate banks. The goal of this is to hide the fact that the money was earned illegally, and it makes it appear to be clean money. This is where the word launder comes into play. Creating, distributing, or accessing any material that is sexually explicit or exploits children underage, using the internet or computer networks. This is all forms of child pornography. Cyberbullying is more prevalent amongst the younger generation. It involves sending or posting hurtful or hateful messages or images about an individual. Your teens and your college students are often the targets of cyberbullying through social media. Many people do not understand the purpose of social media. Social media is entertainment, but it's used to inflict harm on other individuals. The more technology evolves, this opens the door for frequent and possibly dangerous cybercrimes. Just this month, the federal government criminally charged a 35-year-old man from Florida named Matthew James Choi for using an online messaging system and sending messages threatening two individuals outside of the state of Florida with rape and murder. He said such things as, "I'm not going to jail for anything less than murder," or saying, if it doesn't hurt me to stop by and rape and kill your sister." He allegedly sent these online messages to people saying that they would rape and kill their families. Also, there was a Daniel Dock. He was a 33-year-old man from Albuquerque. He actually um, he faced federal charges for illegally posting Facebook messages to threatening to kill the governor of Albuquerque. He actually made these posts onto the governor's Facebook page. Then there's Donovan Hendrick. He's a 25-year-old Rockford man who pleaded guilty for possession of and transportation of child pornography via the internet. Then there are larger cases like a female, Paige Thompson. She was a former Seattle technical company software engineer. She hacked into the data breach of the Capital One Financial Corp, the data breach of the American Medical Collection Agency exposed records of over 12 million patients. Although none of their social security numbers were involved, their personal information like their names, addresses, and phone numbers were exposed in this breach. The company that operates AMCA basically filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection as a result of the costs associated with this breach. The United States does have some substantive laws in place for some crimes that have taken place in the past, but there's still controversy surrounding these laws, like what crimes fall under which law, and whether the penalty for each crime is suitable for that particular crime or for all crimes. The best way to protect yourself against cyber crimes is to make sure your computers have an antivirus software, and make sure that software is up to date. Avoid downloading attachments from unfamiliar sites. Never share any of your personal information online, like your bank accounts or your credit card numbers, unless it is a reputable site that you're possibly making a payment for an expense you may have. Avoid questionable websites. And usually if you have an antivirus software on your computer, it will alert you when you have come across a site that is unsafe. Once you come across it, you need to make sure that you immediately leave that site. Don't click on any links. Monitor children. If you have children, monitor your children while they're using computers. And make sure that you have parental control software in place. Children can be curious. So you don't want your children to get on a site that could possibly open your computer up for any cyber criminals. Taking these safety precautions are our own responsibility, and it can shield us against any potential cyber activity.